it's Jordan from Misfit Studio, and today we are going to be working on a morning yoga sequence. A lot of times, I know that people like to get their workouts done early in the morning, but I think some of us make that mistake of jumping right into a really intense workout without actually taking the time to warm up our bodies. And in my opinion, it's super important to take that time, move slowly, be gentle with your body before you start your day. So if you want to do this as a standalone practice, that's awesome. It can totally be used for that. If you want something a little more intense after, you can do one of our power yoga videos or our core workouts right after this video to kind of lead into a more intense workout. That being said, I may incorporate the use of a couple of props. If you don't have these props at home, no worries. Most of these poses can be done without them. If you don't have blocks, you can always use a book or any sturdy rectangular object. And then if you don't have a strap, this thing right here, you can always use a belt or a rolled up towel or blanket, really anything that can kind of hook around your foot and give you a little bit of leverage. That being said, we will go ahead and get started laying on our backs. So going ahead and laying on your back, knees can stay bent or you can extend them out long on the mat, whatever feels better in your body. And again, we're doing this early in the morning, so be kind to yourself. We're going to start out just by taking a deep breath in and then opening your mouth to sigh out. And then we'll do that again. Take a big breath in. Exhale, sigh out. We'll do that one more time. Deep inhale. Open your mouth, exhale, let go. Awesome. And then just taking a second here to kind of scan from your toes to your head. Notice any areas in the body that are feeling tense or tight this morning. Maybe you woke up feeling awesome, well rested, or maybe not so much. Either way, know that it's okay. I want you to really focus on loving your body and being grateful for the fact that you woke up this morning in the first place. I'm going to start by taking that right knee, pulling it in towards the chest, and we'll begin to rotate the ankle, wiggle the toes, get out any pops and cracks, notice any tightness in the ankle. And we'll rotate that ankle in the other direction. Again, this left leg can be bent or you can keep it out long. Totally up to you. Then we're going to cradle that right knee in the right hand. Let that leg fall open to the side, keeping that left hip grounded. So you can even place your left hand on your hip and just sort of opening up. You can stay here in stillness if that's feeling good to you, or you can begin to make circles with that knee. Just kind of waking up your hip. Again, any pops and cracks are completely normal. No need to worry unless there's pain. You can rotate that knee around the other way. Awesome. Coming back to stillness. We're going to find a half happy baby. So I want you to grab onto the ankle or the blade edge of your right foot, extending that foot towards the ceiling, pulling that knee in towards your armpit. We're going to be feeling this all through the back of the thigh. Again, it's early, so don't push yourself too hard. Find that spot where there's just a little resistance. And if this grabbing on the blade edge of the foot causes your low back to come way up off the mat, grab the ankle or the shin instead. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. And then you'll slowly release, bringing that knee back to center. We're going to find a supine twist. So taking that left hand to the right knee, you're going to twist through your spine. Try to keep your shoulders pressed down here. Arms can come out to a T. You can give yourself a little assist using that left hand to press gently on that right knee. Sending the gaze over to the right. Give that knee one more squeeze in. And then release it back out onto the mat. We'll move on to the left leg. So pulling that left knee in, rotating the ankle, wiggling the toes. Got a lot of pops and cracks on the left side always. You can rotate that ankle in the other direction. Beautiful. Then we're going to come back to stillness. And you're going to find that opening in the hip to the left. So taking your left knee into your left hand, let it fall open. Right hip stays pressed down on the mat. And your choice, you can stay here in stillness if that feels nice, or start to make those circles with the knee. And you can circle the other way. Come back to center, finding your half happy baby on the left. So again, we're grabbing onto the ankle or the blade edge of the foot, pulling that knee in towards the armpit. Breathing into the spaces that feel tense or tight. Slowly releasing, bringing that leg back to center and finding that supine twist. So right hand comes to the left knee and you're twisting, keeping those shoulders pressed down. So we don't want to roll with the knee. We want to keep the back pressed against the mat. Gaze is going to go over to the left. Exhale back to center, giving that leg one more squeeze. And lowering back down. Awesome. Take a second, wiggle out the legs. Then we're going to need a full body stretch going on. So reach those arms way up over your head, stretching out the fingers, pointing the toes. Getting as long as you possibly can. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale out. Beautiful. Let those hands come down and press weight into the hands to come up to seated. Awesome. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So really focusing on extending the crown of the head towards the ceiling, rolling those shoulders back, getting as tall as you can. And we're going to do a forward fold, but I want you to keep your knees bent. So a lot of times we get so focused in a forward fold in yoga and having straight legs that we forget that that's not what it's all about. Keeping the knees bent is an awesome way to start out your practice, especially early in the morning. So we're going to keep those knees bent. Inhale, reach the arms up. Feet are still flexed here, toes pointed at the ceiling. We're going to exhale, fold forward. If with bent knees your feet are still a little far away, you can always use a strap here or bend your knees more. Taking a few breaths here and then starting to round through the spine. You can let your head rest on your knees. And if this is feeling good to you, stay right here. If you're wanting a little more, you can start to straighten the legs a little. Still keep a micro bend in the knees. Try not to lock them out. Being gentle and folding forward. And then we'll release, rolling back up to center. Beautiful. Taking those legs out wide into a V shape. So it doesn't matter how wide, however wide feels comfortable in your body. Again, we're sitting up nice and tall. I want you to grab onto your shins, ankles, or the toes if you have the space, and begin to We're just keeping a nice straight spine, hinging at the hips, pulling the chest forward. And then if you want a little more, you can start to fold just a little. Maybe you reach for the toes or the feet. And coming back to center. Awesome. So we're going to take the hips, or the torso really, not the hips, and shift it towards that right leg. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, then we're going to start to fold over just that right leg. Again, hands fall wherever it's comfortable for you. So they can come to the shin, or to the foot, or even to the ankle. And we're taking a few breaths here. And then coming back up to the center. Shift this way so you can see. And instead of having the chest facing forward, we're going to again shift it to the left. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over that left leg. And then rolling back to seated. We're going to take the hands out in front of us. Walk your hands as far forward as they'll go. So for me, it's about right here, especially first thing in the morning. So just be okay and grateful for whatever your body has to give this morning. In this fold again, we want to maintain length in the spine. It can be really tempting because we want to reach our hands way out in front of us to do this. We just want to avoid that. So trying to keep some length, keeping the head lifted. Slowly coming back to center. Awesome. All right, we're going to take those legs and bring them to easy pose. So if you don't know what easy pose is, crisscross applesauce, cross-leg position. If lotus or half lotus is in your practice, you can take half lotus by taking one foot, propping it up on the thigh. That's not working for you today, and you're just going to take easy pose. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to take that right arm out by your side. You're going to reach that left arm up and over your head. So really stretching through the side body. If you have a lot of space here and want to go a little further, you can take a block or whatever you're using as a block, resting your forearm on that block and then reaching up and over. We want to keep the hips grounded here, so we don't want to do this. Keeping the hips grounded so that we're really stretching through the side body. Start to wake up the shoulder a little. You're going to take that left arm, you can make giant circles all the way around. Moving nice and slow, you can play with the size of your circles. Find what feels good. And then reverse the direction of those circles. And coming back to center and leaning back. All right, we're going to do that same thing on the opposite side. So either using your block or no block, taking that left hand out by your side, right arm reaches up and over, stretching through the side body. Really reaching with those fingertips on the top hand. So imagining there's something way over across the room that you really want to grab. You're reaching as far as you can. And then you're going to start to make those circles with that right arm. And circle the other way. Sweet. Coming back up to center. And we're going to work on the neck just for a minute. So a lot of times, well, I know for me, a lot of times I wake up and feel all this tension in my neck from sleeping in all sorts of weird positions. So if you experience that, this is an awesome way to kind of loosen up the neck, get rid of all that tension that you built up throughout the night. Super important to do first thing in the morning. So sitting in whatever position is comfortable. It can be easy pose, you can sit on your knees or just with your legs out long, it doesn't matter. Just making sure that you're seated nice and tall, crown of the head is towards the ceiling. And we're going to take that right ear to the right shoulder. So if this alone feels like enough, stay there. If you want a little more, you can bring that right hand to the top of your head and press down a little. And then release. Coming back to center and left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe you take that left hand to the top of the head, adding just a little pressure. Awesome. Come back to center. Take your chin to your chest. Again, you can stay here if this is enough, or you can take those hands to the back of the head, adding a little pressure here. Maybe you even shift your head from one side to the other. And then we'll release those hands down to the mat. Look up at the ceiling. Really trying to let the head hang heavy. Relax your jaw. A lot of us hold tension in the jaw without even noticing it, so really try and relax in the face. And we'll begin to make some slow circles. If you find a spot that feels really good, hang out there a little longer. You can circle the other way. Sweet. Coming back to center. We're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So you can get there however you want to get there. You're going to be on hands and knees, stacking those knees under the hips and trying to get your wrists under your shoulders. If you have any knee pain here, if you're doing this at home on like a hardwood floor or something, you can always take a towel or a blanket, place it under the knees for a little extra support. We're going to come to that nice tabletop position. Toes can be tucked or untucked, doesn't really matter here. And we're going to start with some cat-cow. So on our inhale, we're going to press the belly down towards the floor, looking up. And then exhale, round the spine, look at your belly button. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking forward. Exhale, round the spine, look at your belly button. And then one more time. Inhaling to drop the belly. Exhaling to round the spine. And coming back to a neutral spine. Begin to make some circles with the body, just sort of waking up your wrists. So circling around, those circles can be big or small, does not matter. And circling the other way. Coming back to center. We do a couple more wrist stretches. If any of these feel too intense, you can always skip over them, but I do highly encourage you to wake up the wrist just a little before we start. You're going to take those fingers, face them towards either side of the mat. So your hands are going to look like this on your mat. And you're going to begin to just kind of rock from side to side, maybe make some circles here. Circle the other way. And come back to center. Turning those hands back to face 12 o'clock. We're going to take that right hand and you're going to flip it so that your palm is face up, fingers are pointed towards your knees. Here, so hand, face up, fingers point to the knees. We're going to rock back and forth just a little. Again, if it's too intense, you can always come out of it. So rocking back and forth. And we'll plant those hands back down. You can take a second here to kind of shake out the wrists. And we'll come back to our tabletop position. Tucking the toes, come to a downward facing dog. So we're lifting the hips towards the ceiling, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Heels are pressing down towards the mat. And then take a second here to move. So move in whatever way feels good. Maybe that means you bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you roll onto the blade edges of the feet, shifting the hips around. In your downward dog, you can always keep the knees bent. Legs can also be straight. But really just listening to your body this morning. Begin to tiptoe those feet forward. Coming into a ragdoll position. So feet are about hip distance apart. Hip distance is about 2 fists in between your feet. So if you want to take a second to measure, a lot of times we overestimate the size of our hips. We're letting the head hang down towards the floor. Grab opposite elbows and begin to sway. Knees can stay really bent here. Releasing those hands. Begin to roll up to stand. Let your head be the last thing to rise. And then we're going to sweep those arms up overhead for our first extended mountain. Getting nice and tall. Big breath in. Exhaling out. And we're going to make a banana shape with the body. So stretching to the right. You can take hold of that left wrist with your right hand for a little more. Come back to center, stretching to the left. And back to the middle. Awesome. Reaching those fingers back up. Take a little back bend. Press your chest towards the ceiling. And exhale, fold forward. In your forward fold again, it's early. You can keep the knees bent. No need to have straight legs. And taking a breath here. And finding a halfway lift. So we're going to take the hands to the shins. Sorry, my hood's in the way. Create a long, flat back. So we're really pressing the belly and the chest down towards the floor, rolling those shoulders back. And then exhaling to fold forward. And inhale, sweep those arms back up overhead for our extended mountain. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, sweeping the arms up for extended mountain. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to that plank position. So it looks like the top of a push-up. It is super early, so you can always drop down to the knees if your body is not feeling this in the morning. That is totally fine. So I'm actually going to take this on my knees today because I woke up feeling really tired. So dropping down to the knees or keeping the knees lifted, we're going to lower all the way down to our belly. Hands are by the ribs. Inhale to find a cobra pose, lifting the chest off the mat just a little. Rolling those shoulders back. Gaze is out in front of you. Exhale, fold. Come back down to the mat. Inhale, lifting back up for your cobra. Exhale, bring your forehead to the mat. And we're going to tuck those toes and come back to a downward facing dog. We're going to do a couple more sun salutations. I'm going to do a few different variations. Whatever is working for you, do that one. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, long flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up for extended mountain. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Plant the hands, step back to that plank position. Maybe you drop down to the knees. Lowering down, chaturanga, or all the way down to the belly. Inhale, lifting up. This time we're going to take an upward facing dog, so begin to straighten your arms. Shoelace sides of the feet are on the mat. You can keep your thighs down here, or if you're feeling good, press firmly into the tops of your feet until your thighs lift off the ground. Big breath here. And then come back to a downward dog. We're going to do 2 more sun salutations. Deep breath in. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands coming to your plank, whatever that looks like. Lowering down. Upward facing dog. Press the chest forward. Downward facing dog. Last one. Deep breath in. Exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lengthen. And plant the hands, step back to that plank. Lowering down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Taking a few breaths in your downward dog. Again, you can move. Lift that right leg up towards the ceiling, bending the knee, rotate that knee around, open up your hip. Rotate your knee the other way. And then we'll step that right foot forward for a low lunge. So, right foot is forward. We want the ankle underneath the knee. So if you look like this and your knee is shooting way out over your toes, that means you've got more space. You can walk that foot forward a little more. Left knee is down on the mat. If you're feeling ambitious this morning, you can keep that knee lifted. So we're staying here. We're going to bring those hands to the knee, shifting the hips forward. And coming back to center. And then we'll shift the hips forward again. Back to center. One more time, shifting forward. Then we're going to bring that left hand down to the mat. If the mat seems really far away, bring your hand to a block. We'll reach that right arm up. And come back to center. Planting your hands either on the mat or on blocks. And we're going to press back to a downward dog. Again, any movement here. And then we'll lift that left foot up towards the ceiling, bending the knee to open the hip, make some circles. And circle the other way. Then stepping that left foot forward. And slowly rising up. Again, ankle under the knee. Hands can come to the knee. If that's not comfortable for your balance, you can keep the hands down as well. And we're going to shift forward and back. Shifting forward and back. One more time. This time we're going to drop that right hand down. Left arm reaches up, twisting. Beautiful, coming back to center, planting those hands, pressing back to your downward dog. Any movement that feels good here. And from here, we're going to tiptoe those feet forward until we're back to seated on the mat. So hopefully you're feeling a little warm now. We're gonna roll onto our backs. Finish out with just some hip stretches. So we're gonna come to a reclined half pigeon, or figure four, whatever you wanna call this pose. So we're gonna take that right ankle, cross it over the left knee to make a figure four shape with your legs. So we've got a four going on. You can stay just like this if that already feels like enough, which it very well might, especially first thing in the morning. If you're wanting a little more, you're gonna take your hands, right hand is gonna slide into this little four shape, and left hand is gonna meet it around the back of the left thigh, pulling into center. So left foot is coming off of the mat. And as you pull into center, you should hopefully start to feel that right hip firing up a little bit. The more you pull in, the more you're gonna feel it. You can stay just like this if that feels good. You can straighten that left leg. Play with moving your body in different ways. Tiny little movements can completely change a pose. So find what works for you. Keeping that figure four shape, we're going to take the hands out to a T. Palms can be face down, and then you're going to slowly let this right foot start to fall over to the left. So maybe your foot makes contact with the mat. If it doesn't, that's totally fine too. You can just let it fall wherever it falls, or you can rest it on a block or a blanket or whatever you're using. So twisting through the spine. If you want more here in the hip, you're going to use your left knee to kind of press that foot up a little higher. And slowly rolling back to center. Keep your figure four shape. We're going to let the legs fall to the other side. So you're hooking this right foot onto the left knee, pressing that left knee down towards the mat. So you're using your foot as leverage to press the left knee down. And again, legs don't have to touch the ground, just wherever they fall. You can send your gaze to the left if that's comfortable. And come back to center. Beautiful. So uncrossing your legs. We're going to make that figure four shape on the other side. So left ankle is going to cross over the right knee. You may notice that this side feels very different. No worries. Either stay here or interlace your hands behind that right thigh, pulling into center. Again, you can straighten the leg, keep it bent, do what feels good. You can also take the hands around the shin here if that feels nice. Same thing on this side. We're going to take those arms out to a T. We're going to let that left foot start to fall to the right, trying to keep the shoulders pressed down towards the mat. Foot falls wherever it falls. Again, you can use that right knee to press your left foot up a little higher, open the hip a little more. Gaze can stay up at the ceiling, or you can send it in the opposite direction of your legs. And come back to center, keep your figure four. And we're gonna let those legs fall to the other side. So again, we're using that left foot to hook the right knee, pressing it down. Gaze can go over to the right, or you can keep it up at the ceiling, whatever works. And then coming back to center. Unwinding the legs, give yourself a big squeeze. Now we're gonna find happy baby. So we worked with half happy baby at the beginning of class. I want you to pay close attention to how your body might feel different now. Hopefully it feels better now. So grabbing on to the ankles and the blade edges of both feet this time, pulling those knees in towards the armpits. And really try to keep your low back pressed down. So if grabbing onto the feet makes you do this, then I want you to let those hips stay down and grab the ankles instead. So whatever is going to work for your body, really try and find an opening in the hamstrings, in the thighs. And don't be afraid to get a little playful in your happy baby. So you can rock from side to side. If you're doing this with a friend or a partner, you can totally try and kick over their baby. It's always a fun way to play. You can also play with straightening one leg. Maybe you straighten the other leg. Allowing yourself to do whatever feels good in your body right now. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together for a reclined butterfly pose, pulling those heels in towards the body. You can use your elbows here to press your knees out wide. Taking just a couple breaths here. Beautiful. Releasing those legs back down. And giving yourself maybe one more big hug. Setting up for your Shavasana. So I know it's a lot of times tempting to skip Shavasana when you're doing a home practice, but I think it's super important, especially for a morning practice, to take this time, even if it's just 2 minutes, to just be still and set your intention for your day. So finding a position that's comfortable for you. It can be with the legs out long and hands by the sides, or you can keep the knees bent if that feels better, or take a Supine Konasana. Feet together, knees wide, really whatever's working. So finding that comfy position. And I want you to turn your palms face up. Face up is to receive energy, which I know most of us need in the mornings. And if that's not working in your body, you can always take one hand to the heart, one to the belly. Really push your hands wherever it feels good. And take a deep breath in. And open your mouth, let go. Again, big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. One more time, inhaling fully. Exhale, let go. And then I'd like you to take this time to set your intention for your day. I used to hear yoga teachers say that a lot, and I never really knew what it meant. It really means whatever you need it to mean. So what is it that you need from today? Do you really need to take this day to rest, to relax, to spend time with family, to be productive? What is it that you need to do? Once you've thought about that, come up with a mantra that matches whatever it is you need to do. So maybe it is that you need to rest. Your mantra can be, I will rest. Maybe you really need to be productive. Your mantra can be, I will stay focused. I am focused. I am productive. Pick a phrase that resonates with you and repeat it over and over again in your mind. Even if you don't believe it, just keep saying it. It can really do a lot to change the outcome of your day. Now begin to bring awareness back to the body, wiggling those fingers and toes. If you want to stay here longer, you can. Maybe you rotate the wrists and ankles. taking a second here to give yourself a little love. Send yourself some gratitude for taking time to practice and start your day out on a positive note. And when you're ready, you can press into your hand to come up to seated. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have an amazing day. Namaste.